Nate. How's life? I don't know. It's alright. I've been dealing with some things like every human being and really didn't sleep much last night. I'm sorry. That's fine. I just think I need a little me time. I just think I need a little free time. Little break from the shows and the bus rides. Yeah. Last year I had a breakdown. Thoughts telling me I'm lost, getting too loud. Had to see a therapist and I found out something funny's going on up in my house. Yeah, started thinking maybe I should move out. You know, pack my car, take a new route. Clean up my yard, get the noose out. Hang up my heart, let it air out. I've been searching. What does that mean, Nate? I've been learning. Grabbing my keepsakes, leaving my burdens. Well, I brought a few with me. I'm not perfect. Looking at the view like this concerns me. Picking up the cues right, I'm quite nervous. Hate it when I lose sight, life gets blurry and things might hurt me. It's probably gonna be a long journey, but hey, it's worth it though. Cold world out there, kids, grab your coat. It's been a minute, I know, now I'm back to Rome. Looking for the antidote to crack the code. Pretty vivid, I admit it, I'm in classic mode. Don't need pity given to me, but I can't condone. Talking down to me, I'ma have to crack your nose for cracking jokes. I'm looking for the map to hope, you see that? Been making a whole lot of changes. Wrote a song about that, you should play it. I get scared when I walk on these stages. I look at the crowd and see so many faces. Yeah, that's when I start to get anxious. That's when my thoughts can be dangerous. That's when I put on my makeup and drown in self-hatred. Forget what I'm saying and where'd the beat go? Oh, ain't that something? Drums came in, you ain't see that coming. Hands on my head, can't tell me nothing. Got a taste of the fame, it upon my stomach. Throw it back up like I don't want it. Wipe my face, clean up my vomit. OCD trying to push my buttons. I said don't touch it. Now y'all done it. I can be critical, never typical. Intricate with every syllable, I'm a criminal. Intimate but never political, pretty visual. Even if you hate it, I make you feel like you're in it though. You call me what you want, but never call me forgettable. Leave you deep in thought, I can never swim in the kiddie pool. Waited, I've been thinking the cinematic is beautiful. Man, I don't know if I'm making movies or music videos. Yeah, the sales can rise, doesn't mean much though when your health declines. See, we've all got something that we trapped inside that we try to suffocate, you know, hoping it dies. Try to hold it underwater, but it always survives. And it comes up out of nowhere like an evil surprise. Then it hovers over you to tell you millions of lies. You don't relate to that? Must not be as crazy as I am. The point I'm making is the mind is a powerful place, and what you feed it can affect you in a powerful way. It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, but it's not always safe. Just hang with me, this'll only take a moment, okay? Just think about it for a second. If you look at your face every day when you get up and think you'll never be great, you'll never be great. Not because you're not, but the hate will always find a way to cut you up and murder your faith. I've been developing, take a look at the benefits. Nothing to meddle with, I can never be delicate. My even relevant, that depends how you measure it. Take a measurement to back it up and give me the evidence. Pretty evident, dependable, can never be tentative. I'm a gentleman, depending on if I think you're genuine. Pretty elegant, but not afraid to tell you to get it. Grip proper etiquette, I keep it to myself when I celebrate. It's that time again. Better grab your balloons and invite your friends. Seatbelts back on, yeah, strap them in. Look at me, everybody, I'm smiling big. On a road right now that I can't predict. Tell me tone that down, but I can't resist. Y'all know that sound, better raise your fist. The search begins, I'm back, so enjoy the trip.
Red alert, John, shine a light down. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. The Rock says, The Rock says. The Rock says, The Rock.
They talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's trying, I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me, they talk to me.
Hello and welcome to a special draft edition of the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Wwe Draft and
Sean Randy Smith as we bring you our reactions and results from night 1 and night 2 of the WWE Draft, where the landscape was significantly changed.
also really.
Yes.
But also we just want to think the draft took place over the October 1st and October 4th episodes of SmackDown and Raw, along with a few picks being announced on social media, along with Talking Smack and Raw Talk.
We'll start off with night 1 of the WWE Draft, which took place on SmackDown last week.
Here we had 4 rounds of picks in total.
Yes.
And pick 1, round 1, surprise, surprise. The current Universal Champion, head of the table, Roman Reigns, along with Paul Heyman, are drafted to SmackDown.
Either way, they're still on SmackDown. Staying on Raw, again, surprise, surprise, is the WWE Champion Big E.
They staying on Raw. Technically, he was a SmackDown superstar, but after winning the WWE Championship, they were always going to switch him to Raw.
Yes. Speaking of switches,
yes, making the jump to SmackDown is the current, at least at the time of this recording, Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair.
yes, at the time of this recording, indeed. Moving from SmackDown to Raw is the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair.
In round 2, despite challenging WWE Champion Big E at Crown Jewel, which we'll get to, Drew McIntyre will go from Raw to SmackDown.
In a move that was kind of rumoured to be happening. Staying on Raw are the current Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro, myself, and Riddle.
The remaining members of the New Day, in Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, head back over to SmackDown after a year on Raw.
Moving from from SmackDown to Raw because Raw just got rated R with the rated R superstar Edge.
Technically, I would have classed Edge as a free agent because he only shows up a couple of times. Going remaining on SmackDown, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss.
Otherwise known as Baron Corbin and Riddick Moss, former 24/7 champion. Going to Raw or remaining on Raw, even though the women's tag team titles are split between the women's tag team champions on one either brand, are Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH, the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
Being promoted from NXT to SmackDown is Hit Row.
Oh, the NXT North American Champion, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Top Dollar, Ashanti Lee Adonis, and Big Fab.
Remaining on Monday Night Raw, if they ever decide to use them, Keith Lee, or should we say Keith Begat Lee.
Round 4 of the draft, staying on SmackDown, much to Sonya Deville's annoyance, is Naomi.
Going from SmackDown to Raw is the Mysterio family.
Heading to SmackDown from Raw is Jeff Hardy.
And in what will be his second attempt on the main roster, coming up from NXT, is Austin Theory.
As we said, this will be Austin Theory's second bite of the cherry as he went up to the main roster in 2020.
Now, in this draft, there were a couple of separations with tag teams. Of course, once again they separated Big E from the rest of the New Day, but they did that last year as well.
Yes.
And Austin Theory has been promoted without the rest of the way.
Yes. Now, Saturday morning, followed the additional draft picks were announced courtesy of Talking Smack after SmackDown.
And social media. So, staying on Raw, Akira Tozawa.
Moving from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw is Alpha Academy of Otis and Chad Gable.
Promoted from NXT is Aaliyah to SmackDown.
Yes. Next we have
Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz go from SmackDown to Raw.
interesting draft pick, that one. Next we have
Doudrop remaining on Raw.
yes, not surprising that one, considering she was having a Raw Women's Championship match last week.
Jake Maverick will remain on Raw.
Next we have
Drew McIntyre will be joined by his fellow Drew man in Drew Gulak.
you did that. Next,
John Morrison remains on Raw.
no surprise that one.
All going from Raw to SmackDown, we have Mace, Mansoor, and Mustafa Ali.
Which means that T-Bar will remain on Raw, splitting that tag team between Mace and T-Bar.
Nia Injured Jax will stay on Raw.
Yes.
R-Truth will also stay on Raw, along with the Springboard and 24/7 champion Reggie.
Yep, not surprised that the 24/7 antics remain on Raw.
as just said, T-Bar will remain on Raw. Tony Storm will remain on SmackDown. And
we send our congratulations as well on the back of Tony Storm's recent engagement.
And despite, Zelina Vega will go from SmackDown to Raw.
Kind of out of nowhere. Now we move to night 2.
Raw had 6 rounds because it's a long show.
Yes, 3 hours to be exact.
Going from SmackDown to Raw, in part because her husband is there, and probably in part to continue the rivalry she's building. The SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Why is the Raw Women's Champion going to SmackDown and the SmackDown Women's Champion going to Raw?
Yes, I know. I'm thinking that as well.
They did the same thing with the tag titles last year with the New Day and the Street Profits, and they just exchanged the belts.
I'm sure they'll do that at some point. Remaining on SmackDown with a bit of influence from Paul Heyman, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, remain on SmackDown with Roman Reigns.
The Hurt Business of Bobby Lashley and MVP, probably Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander as well, but technically not fully confirmed yet, will remain on Raw.
Staying on SmackDown is the recently returned Sasha Banks. Round 2. Moving from SmackDown to Raw, and as my colleague said, to continue the rivalry with a certain rated R superstar, is he's not the star, he's a very naughty boy.
In Seth Rollins. The current Intercontinental Champion in King Nakamura, who may have a King rivalry coming up soon, and Rick Boogs remain on SmackDown.
Remaining on Raw will be the United States Champion Damian Priest.
Going to SmackDown will be the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, who is probably going to be looking to become a Grand Slam champion by hunting down the one title he hasn't held yet,
which is the Intercontinental Championship. Round 3 of the draft, staying on Raw, are the tag team of AJ Styles and Omos.
Going over to SmackDown, Shayna Baszler.
Going over from SmackDown to Raw is the KO Show, Kevin Owens.
Promoted from NXT to SmackDown is Xia Li.
Moving from SmackDown to Raw, big influence because Bianca Belair is on the same brand. The Street Profits of Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins are heading to Raw so they can bring the smoke to Monday Night Raw.
Going from Raw to SmackDown, the Viking Raiders.
Moving from SmackDown to Raw is Finn Balor.
Well, after breaking the top rope, SmackDown probably didn't want them to have anything to do with him.
And moving from Raw to SmackDown is Ricochet.
Khali and He-Man Cross will remain on Raw.
I like how you did that. The tag team of Alberto Carrillo and Angel Garza will move from Raw to SmackDown. Little
Miss Bliss, despite disappearing for a while, will remain on Raw.
Cesaro will remain on SmackDown.
Carmella will join her tag team partner / manager on Raw and boyfriend in Corey Graves.
Being called up from NXT to Friday Night SmackDown is Ridge Holland's tag team partner and former rugby player, Ridge Holland. But this next draft came out of nowhere.
Following the Olympics, it was reported that this person had signed for WWE and now going straight bypassing NXT and onto Raw is Kurt Angle 2.0 or
Gable Stevenson.
Also WWE Ho.
And the final pick on the televised picks, going and staying on SmackDown, is conspiracy theorist Sami Zayn.
On Raw Talk, we had the following.
First up.
Remaining on Raw, Dana Brooke.
Next.
Going from SmackDown to Raw, the Dirty Dogs of Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
Staying on Raw is Jackson Ryker.
The tag team of, two members of a tag team, I should say, Jinder Mahal and Shanky, go to SmackDown.
Leaving Via all by himself on Monday Night Raw.
Liv Morgan will go from SmackDown to Raw.
Probably to continue her rivalry with Carmella.
Mia Yim is promoted from NXT to Raw without the retribution this time.
Staying on Raw will be Tamina.
Well, technically that's SmackDown to Raw.
Yes.
Despite currently being inactive because of Dancing with the Stars, The Miz will remain on Raw.
The team of Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander of the Hurt Business will remain on Raw.
Natalya remains on SmackDown.
Going from SmackDown to Raw is Tegan Knox.
And Sachi will remain on SmackDown, which yet again splits up that team. You do know you can't have a tag team division if you keep splitting up teams, Vince.
Yeah, especially for the women's tag team titles.
At the end of that left a few names in the question. Yes. Brock Lesnar, what should I say? Brock Lesnar.
Oh, Jesus.
Is currently classed as a free agent due to a deal arranged by Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Inactive due to injury, we have Asuka.
Also inactive due to a torn ACL is Bayley.
Not drafted was Elias.
Likewise, Eva Marie.
Inactive due to being on maternity leave. That's Southern Belle, Lacey Evans.
Also not drafted were the Lucha House Party of Grand Metalik and Lindsay Dorado, although Grand Metalik has actually asked for his release from the WWE.
And not drafted, we have Maurice,
Slapjack,
and Titus O'Neil. Well, that pretty much sums up the draft. We had a few interesting moves there, but we'll see if anything major comes from it. Personally, I doubt it.
I doubt it as well, but only time will tell for these picks.
Now, it is worth taking note that it was announced on SmackDown and they hammered it home I don't know how many times on Raw that the draft will not come into effect, such as results of the draft won't come into effect until the 22nd of October episode of SmackDown, the day after they just so happen to be in Saudi Arabia to do Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
This gives them time to do things like take the North American Championship off of and possibly sort out the Women's Championship situation on SmackDown and Raw. Although we already have a Crown Jewel match advertised that could do that as well.
Yes, but we'll get onto that in our Crown Jewel show.
So until then, which will be in about just under 2 weeks, he's been Rachel Rock Jones, and he's been
John Randy Smith, and we will see you in 2 weeks for the trip to Saudi Arabia.